the adversities are a symbol of royalty. That's why they call it the king cobra in the snake world. It's the top of all snakes. This here is a mongoose. It don't care nothing about a snake being all that because it is a professional snake killer. It does its job very well. This snake seems like it knows that too. You see, he was so confident of himself and when they got him a drink of water and then came back. See that? Okay, now watch this. He's tiring it out. He comes right in, antagonizes that guy and taunts him to make him keep striking, keep striking, keep striking. See? See, he's thinking, he's out thinking. He's out thinking. You see how he keeps moving back and making use all his energy. Then he's tired and he sees that he's tired and he makes one attack, bites him, hurts him, and then goes in for the kill. See that? Life survival strategy. Now, that snake right there that just got ate, remember we just saw a bigger version of it eating something else? That's what I mean about the tantra sexuality of this planet. Now that mongoose will be devouring that snake via or through the orifice mouth. Another cavity we're talking about. Another black hole we're talking about. Okay? Just thought I'd drop that on you. Peace and blessings.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, man, I was just, cause they move, it's a lot of them up here. They don't really have the hatred demonstrated here in Vancouver, Washington, like it was in LA. I be trying to tell everybody, I say, look, while you got a chance, you better take advantage of what's left because in a minute, they're gonna have everything brought up. The politics behind helping them advance and helping them have wealth on the planet is really, really out of this world. They take over every day. See, this has been the way forever. They teach them to hate on black people and make them forget their whole background of being black. And that's the reason why we as a people have had so much trouble on this planet because they take other black people, kill the parents, then rape the women for like over and over and over for let's say 20, 30, 50 years and make sure the only children that they have, the only ones that be kept is the ones that be light. They murder all the black ones and keep lighting people up, lighting them up, and then give them propaganda to hate their own self. It makes idiots out of them and teach them that they should hate black, and they come from black, all of them. Now, I want you. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish.
I was gonna say my Salvadorian friend Chris, his mother is Salvadorian, his father is black. And he told me when he was 7 years old, he was staying with his father's side of the family, the Mexican side. And they took him outside when he was taking a shower, drug him out the shower, into the street, drug him around the street, then made sure they drug him in the driveway and all the dirty oil where the cars drop oil, then left him on the curb for 5 hours till his mom got home, his Salvadorian mother. Then from the time he was 7 till the time he's 23 right now, they've been treating him like dirt. Never being nice to him, always kicking him out, never having a place to stay, not feeding him, making sure that he's ostracized through his family with deep self-racism and hatred.
Mm-hmm. And that ain't hard for me to believe because you know I had children by a white lady too, right?
Yeah,
it's the same shit. The same shit. They don't even talk to me. My two daughters and my son is by that white lady. Those white people fuck their head up so bad. Made them, you know what, they treat me, dude, like I'm a criminal or a bad person or somebody that beat them. You know what I mean? And like I told them, the only reason I left y'all when y'all was kids is because of the games I went through. They was trying to put me in jail. I explained that to them. And to this day, man, they walk around here, they have the nerves to say that I'm a racist because I come out here and talk about, you know, the conditions of the world and all the shit that everybody is going through because of the invent of this dichotomization of the one family. And then I give people solid proof of what has happened. And then I'm the person that's got to be labeled as the person that's a troublemaker. I'm not a troublemaker because I come out here and point out to people that people are deliberately making us hate each other. Does that make me a troublemaker, man?
No.
I mean, Sunchild, feel me on this. When you wake up in the morning, if you look out the window and you see the decadence that's out there, and then you know why the decadence is there, and you one of the persons who, through the love and kindness of your heart, want to point out to the people what has happened and why we all hate each other, how does that constitute you as being a bad person? How come all of a sudden the person that is trying to remedify a problem that everyone else is overlooking becomes the troublemaker? Could you explain that to me?
You need to put down that video. You need to put down that cipher you told me the other day. I thought you told me that those people that used to sit outside the holy cities of God were the lepers. You need to break that off. And this is how you need to break them off. You need to say, the reason why those stories are written in the Old Testament is because Alexander the Great had not made his conquest yet.
That's
and
right.
white people had not spread out over the planet.
That's right.
So, when you see the stories that say they had people outside the gates of the cities of God, and then the noblemen would come in, then the prophets would come in, then the princes of the Most High would come in, and these would have these people outside the gates that they wouldn't let come in. You need to say they called those people lepers, and they said that their skin was diseased, and those were the white people.
That's right. We know that. And
then maybe about 2,000 years after those stories were written, here comes the New Testament, because Alexander made his conquest and put white people on the map. So then now we have a Greek and Roman history, which the African priests gave them that shit also.
That's right.
You can put that in there. But let's bring it up. So the reason why Jesus comes, and I got it written down right here, Asar. Okay, 600 years ago they added a letter to the English alphabet. Why did they do that? Because everybody was walking around talking without using that letter. Now imagine you saying all the words in English without the letter J. So we're saying yada, 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 shawada, yada, yada, yada. You know what yada, yada, yada is? You would sound like a damn Jew.
Right.
Or Hebrew.
Right.
You wasn't using the letter J.
Right.
So imagine them Jews saying, you know what, we're getting ready to go to Africa. This is 600 years ago. We're getting ready to go to Africa, and we're going to get those people over and kill them, bring them over here and build a new civilization. But you know what? We got to take their language away from them, and it'll never work if they're walking around talking like us. Yada, 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 yada. So they said we have to add another consonant vowel to this language that we're going to give them. And you know who did that? The Moors again. They did that for them. There ain't no way that the white man calculated that.
I know that because
when they added the J, watch this, when they added the J to the English language, and this is what you tell them on your video, all you got was the prophet, a king, a redeemer, and a God. Your prophet John, your King James, your Redeemer Jesus, and your God Jehovah.
Ain't that something? Now let me add one more thing. Yeah, you said it. Let me add something to that, son, child, too.
That's how you got to put it on your video, man.
Okay, but let me add this on there. Let me add this.
All right, go ahead.
Something that you said was really profound just now. You said that all those J's was what, and they added all those J's. They took those names from Joshua and turned it into Joshua, right?
Yep,
okay.
They gave it to the Africans that they brought over here to build the civilization and to steal their history knowledge.
And then
when they give you that J, we got stuck on the J. The prophet's name is John, or prophet's name is all kind of shit, Jacob. Prophet's name is Joseph. The king's name is James. And we need to go no further from there.
Well, let me tell you, yeah, we're going to go to John. This is where we're going to go, because this is going to really bring it home. What you just said is so profound. Because if you notice, John is the only book, all right, of the book of testimonies. All of them, none of those books has anything to do with Jesus being Jewish until that letter J came with John. So what you're saying is 100% profound. Because John is the only one who talks about Jesus. And he's the only one who talks about the fact that Jesus was a Jew.
Yeah.
That's the only place that you can connect Judaism and Christianity together. It's in that book of John.
Right.
And so what you're saying is absolutely right. They did use the J to justify their existence on earth. And
they didn't get here in this language until we did. We got here 400, 500 years ago. The J got here 500, 600 years ago. So obviously they were preparing to bring us. And they ingrained that in our brains. Black people walk around the church, the only thing they know is John, James, Jesus, and Jehovah. And yada, yada, yada.
And all that craziness.
No common sense at all. No love in their own family and community. How in the fuck are you worshiping New Testament Christianity that all talks about is love and unity, and your silly ass don't have none in your own family, in your own mirror,
or in that church,
community,
or in that church? You go sit up in that church, it's dead as hell. The people that sit next to you in the church don't even look at you. What they looking at to see what you wearing or what kind of car you drove.
Yep, they need to know that there's no unity in the mirror first for you fools. You motherfuckers can't even look in the mirror and have unity.
Well,
If you look in the mirror and have unity, you go out and love all the other black people that look like your black ass in the mirror when you left the fucking mirror.
well, let me ask you this.
Your ass leave the mirror every morning and then go out and hate your damn self.
Well, let me ask you
What kind of
this.
shit is that?
Here's a question for you. When I was down there in LA with you, and I went to that church over there, West Angeles Church, when I met you,
Blake?
yeah, Blake Church. When I met you, what did I tell you about my circumstances with them when I started studying with them and learning the Bible? What happened? What did I tell you happened that made me leave that center?
Man, you was coming up, and the spirit was getting in you, and you was almost prophesying, and he was all astounded, but they didn't want to promote you or let you come up and speak or elevate you in the brotherhood of the church. Actually, they wanted to ostracize you and get you up out of there because your truth was really more real and effective to the people, you know, hit on their minds and spirits than their little watered down preaching.
And those ladies, remember what I told you those ladies were doing? What did I tell you the ladies in the church were doing to me?
The ladies were coming up to you and praising you and telling you things like they had been healed and, you know, they're getting the word of power for real from what you were saying.
I was healing them. I was healing them.
They can feel your energy in your aura. You
Yes.
know, which is, I know the preachers hate that. They're like, oh my God, this man done lit himself up. He got his aura shining, his halo spinning around. Yeah, man, they don't like that, man.
Man, those women came to me.
You was popping those women's pineal glands. That's what was going on.
I know. They was coming to me.
Pineal glands were getting activated.
And they were so beautiful, man. They was just so foolish. Those beautiful women with those wigs on. And they knew who I was. One lady came to me. She said, you know what, brother? I said, what, sister? Tell me about it. She said, ooh, you got something going on inside of you. And she was talking to me, man. And I looked at the lady, and the lady was blind. I didn't even know she was blind. And then I looked at her, and I saw that she was blind. And I was talking to her. I say, are you blind? And then she said, yes, I'm blind. And then she started screaming, oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. This man got power. This man got power. And then that woman's eyes opened up, and she looked at me, man. And I looked at her, and I got so scared. I took off and ran across the damn street. I stood across the street looking at that lady rejoicing and worshiping Jesus. She was rejoicing and worshiping Jesus when I'm the one that came and opened her damn eyes up. And then I was standing there on the corner crying because at that time I was vibrating on Jesus. You know that, right? But I was just so shocked that all that was inside of me. I was shocked that all that was inside of me, man. I swear I was. And then, yo, man, when things started going crazy as to where I started getting all that conflict from those people in that church and they all treat me wrong and everything, I was saying, how can you be jealous of me when you can see that God is all inside of me? What are you jealous about? Then it dawned on me that they was jealous about my spirituality because my spirituality was combative to theirs because they knew I was vibrating on real spiritual energy and that I was not going to accept their dogma. And as soon as they came at me with that dogma, I started telling them, wait, first of all, I'm going to tell you something. I've been talking to the true God. And the true God is going to destroy you guys for all this manipulation you've been doing to people. Now listen to this. They didn't even have the balls to say anything to me. When I sat there and started telling them about Horm-Akhet and about how the Greeks had went into Egypt and destroyed it and that we were the people that was taken in exile and we were the people that it was enslaved and they stole our stories of all our suffering and all this scorn and every shit we went through and they did it to us and then planted it on themselves. I told them that right up in that church. And I sat there and I talked to all those people thinking that they were going to take heed to what I was saying and have some adjustment in their conceptualization, right? You know what those idiots had the nerves to do? When I came back to church that next Sunday, the men, Elder Williams, Bishop Blake, and Brother whoever, all those bastards, the men, was some cowards. They didn't have nothing to say to me. They couldn't stand up like men and say anything to me. They just stood in the corner and stared at me like some little jealous bitches. But they sent this little skinny lady that I used to see. Me and her went through the class together. And they was all intelligent, but they was upset by how wise I was. They got jealous of my wisdom. And listen to this. They sent this little heifer, because that's what she was. She had attitude.